This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Nishant Tusharo and read by Tilani Pires. The headlines. The electricity bill will be temporarily increased until the 15th of February. The government says it has taken necessary steps for the success of the paddy purchasing mechanism. The constructions of the Hambantota Port Industrial Park accelerated. China vows to maintain close ties with Sri Lanka. And on international news, Indian Prime Minister says people of the Global South should no longer be excluded from the fruits of development. And on sports news, cricket, the second one-day international match between Sri Lanka and India is now being played at Eden Gardens, India. The Ceylon Electricity Board says that the electricity bill will be temporarily increased until the 15th of February. Cabinet approval has been received for this. The price of a domestic electricity unit will be increased from 29 rupees 14 cents to 48 rupees 42 cents as per the temporary scheme. Accordingly, the domestic fixed rate of up to 30 units will increase from 120 rupees to 400 rupees. Between 30 and 60 units, the fee will be increased from 240 rupees to 550 rupees, and between 60 and 90 units will increase from 360 rupees to 650 rupees. According to the General Manager of the Electricity Board, Mr. Ruhan Seneviratne, the domestic fixed tariff will increase from 960 rupees to 1,500 rupees for 90 to 180 units and from 1,500 rupees to 2,000 rupees for customers with more than 180 units. In the meantime, the Public Utility Commission's charges regarding the increase in electricity bills should be given before the 15th of next month. He said that the electricity bill will be revised accordingly. The government says that it has taken the necessary steps to make the paddy purchase mechanism successful. Due to the concessions given to farmers for agriculture needs, the expected harvest has been achieved this year. Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Gunadasa Samarasinghe, stated that he is negotiating with various parties to purchase the farmers' paddy crops. The relevant instructions have been given to the Paddy Marketing Board. Requests have been made from the Treasury to provide a loan for the Farmer Trust Fund. The state banks are negotiating to get a loan at a low interest rate. The Secretary stated that he will discuss the purchase of paddy with private rice mill owners. The construction of the Hambantota Port Industrial Park has accelerated under the HIP SPREED concept. The project is worth the nearly $2 million project and it is being completed. It provides facilities for small industries. Due to the COVID epidemic, the construction slowed down. 40 foreign projects have been started in Hambantota. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Excelsior. Live the life you want.
The advisor of the Chinese embassy in Sri Lanka, Shen Xiangyuan, has vowed to maintain close ties with Sri Lanka during the opening of a computer training centre earlier today as a mark of respect for the late Philip Gunawardana's 112th birth anniversary. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardana meanwhile stated that the China supported Sri Lanka in times of need. The Prime Minister expressed his views during the opening ceremony of the China-Sri Lanka Friendship Information Technology Centre in Boralugoda, Kosgama, constructed with Chinese assistance. The Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardana said the late Philip Gunawardana played a pivotal role in laying the foundation of long-term friendship between China and Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister said at times of trouble, China supported Sri Lanka as a true friend and expressed his gratitude to the Chinese government for providing a valuable resource to the youth community by providing a computer training centre for the youths. The Premier said information technology has become the most important tool that determines one's future. That ends local news for now.
People's Bank Excelsior, a comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you. People's Bank Excelsior, for professionals who dare to dream.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that discussions on restructuring the loans are successful. The country should be directed properly forward in spite of the prevailing crisis. The President expressed this view while addressing the Pratibha Abhisheka Award Ceremony 2022 organized by the Women's Chamber of Industry and Commerce in appreciation of women entrepreneurs today. Accordingly, the President said that the possibility of a moratorium will be investigated and necessary relief will be provided in order to protect the business community in the country. The Governor of the Central Bank has already been instructed to take the necessary steps. The assistance of the IMF is expected in the near future. The World Bank and the Asian Development Bank are anticipated to provide loans to the country. The government is focusing on restructuring the government bodies that do not earn profits in the hope of stabilizing the economy. The President further emphasized everyone should be committed to do their best in order to make the future prosperous. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And on Watch Light tonight, Sri Lanka Surgeons and Medical Specialists Association warns of an influenza virus outbreak in the country. Symptoms such as difficulty in breathing, cough and sore throat are commonly noticed. The Deputy President of the association says consumption of ample amounts of liquids and nutritious food is recommended. At a press briefing, he said these symptomatic conditions are adversely affecting patients with kidney disease and pregnant mothers. Antibiotics and painkillers are not recommended. He requested the public to seek proper medical treatment if symptoms prevail. That came to you in Watchlight. Coming up, World News. World News headlines first. The Indian Prime Minister says people of the Global South should no longer be excluded from fruits of development. Air traffic operations resume in the US. Russia to launch rescue vessel to International Space Station to bring home 3 crew members stuck in orbit. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that people of the Global South should no longer be excluded from the fruits of development, underlining that it must attempt to redesign global political and financial governance. Mr. Modi said most of the global challenges have not been created by the Global South, but they affect it more, and it is evident in the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change, terrorism, and even the Ukraine conflict. He stated this while addressing the 2-day Virtual Voice of Global South Summit. In the USA, the Federal Aviation Administration said that normal air traffic operations are slowly resuming after flights were halted yesterday. Normal air traffic operations are resuming gradually across the US following an overnight outage to the Notice to Air Mission system that provides safety info to flight crews. Russia will launch a rescue vessel to the International Space Station next month, February, to bring home 3 crew members who are in effect stuck in orbit after their original capsule was hit by a meteoroid. The docked Soyuz MS-22 sprang a major leak last month, spraying radiator coolant into space and prompting a pair of cosmonauts to abort a planned spacewalk. The Russian Space Agency, Roscosmos, said that the strike caused no immediate threat to the crew of the space station. Back to the world news headlines. The Indian Prime Minister says the people of the Global South should no longer be excluded from fruits of development. Air traffic operations resume in the US. Russia to launch rescue vessel to International Space Station to bring home 3 crew members stuck in orbit. That ends World News.
Development News.
The program Lassana Verala, focusing on cleaning the beach of the Colombo city, was launched recently. This is monitored by the Central Environmental Authority. This program aims to clean the beach side from Mount Lavinia to the Colombo Port City. The Hivela Mount Lavinia Municipal Council, Colombo Port City and the Coast Conservation and Coastal Resource Management Department contribute to this program. That was Development News.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
Sports news and cricket. The India team won by 4 wickets in the second one-day international match between Sri Lanka and India, played at Eden Gardens, India. Sri Lanka won the toss and decided to bat first. Accordingly, Sri Lanka scored 215 runs for all out in 39.4 overs, and India scored 219 runs for 6 wickets in 43.2 overs. That came to you in Sports News.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Hatton National Bank won Best Corporate Citizen Sustainability Award 2022 at the 19th Best Corporate Citizen Sustainability Awards organized by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. Sampath Bank and Nestle Lanka were judged the first and second runners-up respectively. The awards ceremony corporate citizen sustainability ownership and initiatives that deliver social and environmental benefits while pursuing profits. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Economic News, courtesy of...
For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first, and this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC, imagine the possibilities.
Coming up, economic news. The Chinese embassy in Colombo states that President Ranil Wickremesinghe has held a video conference with the chairman of the Export-Import Bank of China on bilateral cooperation and debt issues. The embassy tweeted on Wednesday that the talks were fruitful and that the two sides agreed to further strengthen exchanges and collaboration on the resolution of Sri Lanka's debt issues and help the island's economic recovery and sustainable development. That came to you in economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 goals at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall Gold Award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather Report.
The Department of Meteorology announces that mainly fair weather will prevail over most parts of the island. That was the weather report, and now to in this news broadcast, the main points once again. The electricity bill will be temporarily increased until the 15th of February. The government says it has taken necessary steps for the success of the paddy purchasing mechanism. The constructions of the Hambantota Port Industrial Park accelerated. China vows to maintain close ties with Sri Lanka. Indian Prime Minister says people of the Global South should no longer be excluded from the fruits of development. And on sports news, the Indian team won by 4 wickets in the second one-day international match between Sri Lanka and India, played at Eden Gardens, India. Sri Lanka won the toss and decided to bat first. Accordingly, Sri Lanka scored 215 runs for all out and were all out in 39.4 overs. India scored 219 runs for 6 wickets in 43.2 overs. That was sports news, and with that we end tonight's news broadcast.